Shop 4th of July savings at the Home Depot right now and get up to 40% off, plus up to an extra $600 off select appliances with free delivery, like Samsung. From all-in-one washer dryers to smart refrigerators, upgrade to tech you can trust with Samsung appliances. The Home Depot has what you need to simplify your routine. Don't miss 4th of July appliance savings at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid June 18th through July 9th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
You guys hear that sound?
What's that?
You hear that? Wait, everyone be just a little quiet. Shh. Just listen real careful. You hear the pitter-patter of footsteps, because just like that, the Miami Marlins are back.
Yeah.
He's right.
All right, yeah.
He's right.
9 out of 12. 13. 9 out of 13.
There you go. Swept the Giants. Big time.
Wow, that's a good team.
Making moves. This is the beautiful thing about baseball, right? It's, you look at your record, you say, hold on. I mean, how can the Miami Marlins, who are 34-45, be on the move, right? But there's so much season left.
Still time.
So much season left.
Who would have thought the Marlins would be buyers?
We're not even at the
It's not
All-Star
happening.
break
It's
yet.
not happening.
Well, you never know.
You don't think they'd be buyers?
Why not?
A little bit?
Out of the cellar, not even in last in the NL East anymore.
That's how you
Out
call
of the
your way
cellar,
up?
maybe still sellers, but they're not in the cellar, and that's all that matters.
So has Sandy been bad because he doesn't want to get traded?
No.
Sandy's
No, he's
been
been
good
good
over his
now.
last 4
He's good
starts.
again.
Oh, he's good again.
That's why you got to trade him now. Who knows?
He's coming
Trade.
off of Tommy John. You know, it takes a lot longer than 10 months to actually come back from that. And his rehab was essentially in games during the regular season. Those were his rehab starts. So he's looking back to normal. Hey, they lead baseball in hits and batting average this month.
There you go. And this month isn't like 2 days
Doesn't really
old either.
matter in terms of scoring runs necessarily, but yesterday, hey, season high, 12 runs. Agustin Ramirez, that kid's real good.
You know what they call it? They call it baby steps. Baby steps. You work your way up. You can't be awesome out the gate. You got to work yourself up with baby steps. Now here's my question though, because you raise an excellent point. The trade market is such a fickle thing. You got guys, I got to get rid of him. I got to get rid of him. But no, his stock is terrible right now. We're not going to get good value back. Okay, wait till he starts playing well. He starts playing well, and then they say, got to get rid of him. Like, I don't know. Hold on now. Hold on. Let the man cook. 10 months at the Tommy John. So, Zaz, are you of the belief that, hey, I had a plan from the beginning to get rid of him as soon as I got good return on value, and I'm sticking to it? Or do you adjust and say, hey, look pretty good, and we're winning?
Well, okay, we're winning. Baseball is still 162 games.
Yeah.
All right, so yes, they're winning right now. The fact of the matter is, you only keep Sandy Alcantara if his prime aligns with when you think you're going to be a contending team.
So this year.
And the answer to that would be they don't align. So you have to trade him now. And maybe you get 2-3 huge prospects and you need all of it to align together at the same time.
I will say the one thing when it comes to Sandy that was always the case from the beginning of the year and remains the case because it's obvious he's returning to form is that Sandy is not in an expiring contract right now. There's 2 more years of control of 1 more year of the contract, 1 more year of a club option. Yeah. So the reality is if the Marlins don't get the type of package that they want for a player like Sandy at this year's deadline, they hold on to him. And look, I know that ownership loves Sandy, this front office loves Sandy, this coaching staff loves Sandy, Sandy loves to be here. So it's the type of thing where some teams that go through a rebuild keep one guy as the stalwart of that foundation. Moving through that, you can see Freddie Freeman on the offensive side with the Braves. He did that with them where they got bad and got good around him. Maybe Sandy is someone who gets to stay here for the long term. And if not, the Marlins really have all the leverage at the moment.
The rare opportunity to keep Sandy on the beach.
If the Marlins have won 9 out of 13, why is Dane Myers so upset? I mean,
so mad.
Do we have this video?
He's been so good too.
Very impressive what he did. So he struck out. Paint the picture here, Jeremy. What's the scenario here? Why is he so upset?
It's just a strikeout. It's just a standard strikeout in the regular season.
Didn't he go like hitless in the series?
Yeah, he had gotten his batting average up to about 330. He's been one of the best players on the Marlins this season. If they're going to have an offensive player who's at the All-Star game, he may be that player, him or Kyle Stowers.
Now
they could have a pitcher.
For the audio audience, he snaps a bat that isn't broken over his knee. Are we holding against him that he does go for the thin part of the bat? He goes for the handle.
No, because you know what? He does it so fast that when you watch it in real time, you can't tell that he did it over the thin part. Like it looks smooth.
Yeah, I don't think it was premeditated as one fell swoop, grab, swing, back, right? But again, your team is up 8-5. It's the 5th inning.
Hey, he wanted to add on some runs.
Looks like a me guy.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys are up.
I don't think so. I think that's a team first guy. He wanted to add on. He was mad.
Apparently, the announcers called it Bush.
Yeah, I don't. Do they understand what the definition of Bush is? He didn't do anything wrong to any. It's Bush if your behavior is directed at the other team.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when something's Bush. If anything, he just complimented the pitcher. He was so angry by the pitcher striking him out that he snapped a bat over his leg. What is Bush about that?
And by the way, after snapping that bat over his leg in the 5th, he came up in the 8th inning, singled to center. After a walk to start the inning, ended up scoring in that inning. The Marlins scored 4 runs. So in his next at-bat, he got a hit. All that is just letting go of some emotion, getting to the next at-bat, and moving through it. And that's why Dane's had such a good year. He's been a really, really, really good center fielder for the Marlins this season.
That's how you bust slumps, boys. Take a bat, break it over your leg, let everybody know you're upset. Some people might call you a me person. Don't
just
take
let it all out.
Let it all out, come back. Drive in some runs. The idea, though, of a team that is 8 games under 500, poised to make a run. Like I said, baseball, the season is so long. It makes everything in play, even the most ridiculous. One of my lasting favorite baseball memories was, I think, on Bob Costas' show, and they had Mad Dog on there. And this was the year the Giants won the Super Bowl against the Patriots, right? And also the year the Mets collapsed. And Bob asked Mad Dog for New York radio, how would you rate those stories? So making this improbable run for the wild card, beating the best team of all time. It's a 9.9 out of 10 for us in terms of radio topics. The Mets being in number 1 at the beginning of September and missing the playoffs.
That's 10.
That's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's 10.
That's a 10 out of 10. And again, that's the thing that can only happen in baseball.
What a time to be alive in New York sports radio.
Oh, my God. Those two things happening
We
in
got
the same
2
season.
stories. One of them is a 10 out of 10. The other one, it's a 9.9. Which you want to talk about today?
But the idea that, like, hey, even with like a month to go in the season or a few weeks to go in the season, you can still this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Is remarkable. And the opposite, right? The opposite, which is even though you've been terrible, going a little bit of a heater, all of a sudden, things don't sound so ridiculous.
Yeah. No, baseball, I mean, like, I remember when the Marlins won the World Series in 2003, if you're invested in a baseball team the entire season, and that year, it was a summer where it was my last summer in college. So me and my buddy were like, we're just going to watch every Marlins game every night. And this is before the season started. Marlins were supposed to be bad. We had no idea they were going to be any good. Matter of fact, they started bad. They were 10 games under 500. They fired the manager, When you're invested in baseball where you're watching every night and your team ends up being good, ends up being a storyline late in the season, yeah, that's baseball at its best. Baseball's really good if you're invested, you watch every single night, and your team is interested.
All this baseball talk, I'm going to go next week.
Yeah?
Twinnies are in town. I call them the Twinnies.
Have you not been this year?
No, I've been.
Twinkies.
No, I call them the Twinnies.
The 20 twins.
I have been once this year, but I'm going to go again. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use Game Time. I'm going to download the Game Time app. I'm going to create an account. I'm going to use code Dan because that gets me $20 off my first purchase. Whether it's last-minute decision to catch your favorite team or you're chasing that perfect summer night, Game Time has your back with incredible last-minute MLB deals. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Hell yeah.
The fun part about this type of part of an MLB season for a team that, let's be real, probably doesn't miraculously turn into a team that makes the postseason, is making a really fun run right now, and maybe...
Oh, the NBA news, it never stops. According to Shams Charania of ESPN,
Who did he trade for?
Masai Ujiri is out as vice chairman and president of the Toronto Raptors.
Whoa.
Sources tell ESPN. This is a cataclysmic move.
Could it be the guy who got drafted not being happy to be there? He's like, you know what? I'm out of here. If you don't want to be here, I'm out of here.
It's the last straw. Like, you drafted a guy who doesn't want to be here.
But then you saw, like, on whoever's Instagram account, I don't know if it was his or if it was the team, they posted a picture of him as a kid wearing the old school Toronto Raptors shirts.
That doesn't mean anything. Kids wear anything
Was
nowadays.
that the rare happy F word?
It didn't look
I'm
happy.
so happy.
It didn't look happy. But so this is really interesting.
So this isn't him, like, being moved to a different role. He's out of the organization?
He's out, according to reports by Shams Charania.
Wow.
Here's the issue, right? First of all, there's no way they, like, did not want him around all of a sudden. This is one of those things where, like, they knew.
So you think he wanted out?
Now, here's the problem. There were multiple jobs that were open this offseason. The Suns' job was open, right? It went to Brian Gregory because he went to Michigan State. The Hawks' job was open. It went to Anse Salah, who was in that organization already. The Nuggets' job was open. That went to Ben Tenzer and John Wallace. One guy was working for the Nuggets, one guy had worked for the Nuggets. So there were opportunities for him to go out and get a job. They waited. All the jobs got filled, and now he's out.
And he was in the final year of his deal.
I kind of feel like...
Did he want to interview and they didn't let him?
Well, it says that Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment and Ujiri have decided to part ways as well. He was entering the final year of his deal. So
But, I mean,
this
that's a
does
nice
feel like
way
the type of thing of saying either he was trying to get an extension, thought he might, didn't, and then now is frustrated that he knows he's going to be on his way out. Or maybe that's a situation where he did want to go explore. The Raptors knew that. His agent didn't handle it properly, and now he ends up fired.
You don't get to be as good as your job for as long as that guy's been good, and then it comes down to the agent mishandled it. Like, if him and the Raptors wanted to be together, they'd be together.
Okay, so let's take a step back for a second because you say there him being as good as at his job as he's been, and yes, Masai Ujiri has this reputation where he's like a really good executive. Okay, how good has he been? All right, like we know going in 2018 made a huge move to trade DeRozan. We're going to take on Kawhi, even though we have no guarantee that he's going to be here. They win the championship. Outside of that move, like they're bad. And they bid bad for a couple of years. Like, how good is he actually?
That's cyclical, first of all. Being bad for a couple of years. Sam Presti was bad for how long? For how long was he bad, right? Not him being bad, obviously, but his team was bad.
Oh, I mean, he's been there for 17 years.
Yeah,
So
it happens. It happens to the best of us. Jerry West was the GM of a bad team in Memphis, right? Bob Myers came in, and the Warriors weren't great, and he got out as soon as they stopped being great. So I think, and obviously we operate in a market here where the Godfather is being tarred and feathered on this show. People trying to push him out. So
Despicable,
exactly. And you know what he needs to do? Diamond to the forehead. Get it back.
Thank you.
Get it
you
back.
Get it. This guy gets it. You see him get up there, by the way, for everyone who's been questioning like his acuity and all of that stuff. You see when they made that pick, him get up there and bust out those dance moves? I mean, that's a man.
Were those dance moves or finger guns?
Those were finger guns, but with a little pizzazz.
and look at he was saying, you see?
Yep.
Veiled threats also as to like, these are finger guns for now, but if this talk continues,
Might turn into something a little bit.
might.
Got to throw that out there. But yeah, so Masai has had a team that won the division a bunch of years ago.
they were
been to the
good.
conference finals, lost to a generational
Kept
player.
losing to LeBron.
Right. And built a champion on a very risky move, right? Not only trading the most popular player in the franchise at that point,
But for 1 year.
for a guy who only had a year left, for a guy who was coming off of injury concerns, right? But it worked, and nobody blamed him for it. Matter of fact, and that's not even to mention like his tree. So like Tim Connolly, who is the GM of the Minnesota Timberwolves, he got to Denver after Masai left. Masai, the guy who's going to take over probably in Toronto, Bobby Webster, is one of the brightest guys. One of the guys that people say this guy should be running his own team. It looks like it might be the opportunity right now for him. The question I have is, what team in the league right now, regardless if they just signed their GM or if they've had their GM for a while, is like, ooh, Masai's on the market.
Is there any team that has an opening?
There are no openings. There are no openings at this point. Like they all opened and got filled. The last one being the Nuggets a couple of days ago.
Oh, so he's going to sit out a year. He's going to collect on the final year of the contract.
Sure.
And he'll have a new job next year.
Maybe do some TV. You know?
Well, imagine the vacation he's just planning right now. Got like 12 months off. I'm gonna go to. That's just like, I always think about that. Anytime a really rich person like gets out of work, I just picture them being like, "Where do you want to go, honey?" Like, you know, just like planning like a 3-week vacation like across the world. Oh,
not only that, but like
I want to be rich.
You know how happy. You know, I worked with Tom Thibodeau when he was at ESPN. God, I've never seen a guy so happy, man. The dude was joy every time he came in the room. Slapping backs, making jokes, asking questions. Hey, how's it going? I'm like, wow, why does everyone complain about this guy? This guy's awesome. Same thing with Stan Van Gundy. Stan Van Gundy, we know him. We know Stan Van Gundy. That's fun and awesome and loves Blue Bloods and other terrible CBS shows.
Blue Bloods.
And then there's another Stan Van Gundy. There's another Tom Thibodeau. There's probably another Masai Ujiri who the public doesn't see. It's the dark side. It's the competitive side. I want to win. And that, you can't turn that off. You're not like, oh, that at work, close the laptop. Hey, honey, how was your day? No, man. That job follows you. It haunts you.
What job is that, by the way? Like, I've yet to experience the job where I close my laptop when the day's done and I'm unbothered until I come into the office the next day.
You only work at work.
Like, what? Whose jobs are these? Because it doesn't seem to exist in this world anymore.
Good question.
Because, like, even my wife, who has a job that I would think has that, like,
what's her job?
School counselor.
Oh,
still
counselor, man.
Still gets like calls and emails and texts and stuff like outside of work hours.
What if you work at a restaurant? You don't bring that work home.
No, you would think, but like when I worked in retail, like when I was in college, I worked in retail. I had my schedule, and you'd think it'd be like, okay, well, here are the hours that was one thing that they would do towards the end that I did not like. When I started, $4 million a year store. When I left, $40 million a year store. Very different store when I left than when I entered that store.
Take credit.
And when I left,
you left it in a better place than when you got there.
Some are saying, not me. I'm not saying that it was all me. I'm not saying it was just me, but no coincidence. Tenfold what it was when I got there. But I will say this: when I got there, it was like just give us like the times that you can work, right? And then when I left, it was like, we need a printed out copy of your school schedule so that we know we can't schedule you then. But like outside of that, we need people to be available all the time. Wait, and it's like, hold on a second.
Your life is my life? Is that what they just said?
And I was like, hold on a second. So like they'd give you your schedule, but then they call you like, oh, Jeffrey called out today. Can you come in and cut? And it's like, why? Like, don't call me today. Why are you calling me to work retail today?
You have a couple bullet points? Like, what was the reason for the growth? Like, what did you implement?
It's a good time for bras and panties in this country, if I'm going to be honest with you. It was a good time. There was exponential growth. The Victoria's Secret fashion show was a cultural phenomenon at the time. Pink, the brand, started taking off. Yeah. Little doggies were everywhere. People wanted those plush doggies. It was a good time to be in the Victoria's Secret empire. It might have been timing. It might have been me. Who knows?
How is it now? Do we know?
Right when he left. Well, fell off.
We don't need to get into how it is right now. They had those documentaries, it turns out.
Oh, that's right.
Deep, dark secrets. Those Victoria's.
Hulu.
There were secrets at Victoria's Secret, it turns out. Right, yeah. I wasn't privy to them.
What was Victoria's Secret?
What was the secret?
Like that.
She was a
Oh, whoa. Oh, wow. Scandal.
Go out there, you thought it was just a dress. I was like, whoa, what's going on down there? That was a joke, friends. I'm sorry. I see Jeremy over there in the corner is very offended. If Jeremy
offended for Victoria.
Jeremy has that.
I'm just shocked that you said it.
Jeremy, you know something about me, right? You know when I'm grilling outside and it's summertime, you know how I supplement my summertime?
Of course I do.
I make it Miller time.
Of course.
That beautiful white can. Oh, when it's so hot outside, I just put it right to my forehead, right there. And I just roll it sometimes, right on the forehead, cool my body down, and then I crack it open, instant relief, and then that first sip, brother, does that first sip?
That is a top 5 sequence of events that you can possibly go through.
I'm just, serenity now. when I just imagine that first sip of Miller Lite.
Just thinking about it's making me happy.
Dude, the sun is out. It's nice. You have your friends showing up. You got your family there. You just had your first sip of Miller Lite. And you know what? You're happy. You're blissful. You're fulfilled. I've been stocking my cooler with Miller Lite for years, and for good reason. It's brewed for taste. Only 96 calories and 3.2 grams of carbs. This year, Miller Lite turns 50. That is 5 decades of cookouts, laughs, and ice-cold moments that never miss. It's the original light beer, and it's still my go-to. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
All right, everybody, it's UFC International Fight Week, and while hotels in Vegas may be sold out, there's still one vacancy left, and it's the lightweight title at UFC 317. Grab your own crown with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. A new champ will be crowned when Ilia Topuria, who's come up from the featherweight division, collides with Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title. Plus, Alessandro Pantoja puts his flyweight title on the line against Kai Kara France in a high-stakes co-main event. New to DraftKings Sportsbook? Here's your main event. Just bet $5 and score $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code DAN, that's code DAN, D-A-N, for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Looking for a new way to get in on the action? NASCAR betting on DraftKings is where speed meets strategy. Whether it's a super speedway, short track, or road course, no one brings chaos quite like NASCAR. Every Sunday brings new ways to win. Bet on winners, top 3 finishes, stage winners, head-to-head matchups, and more. Love a long shot? This is your sport. One late restart can change everything. So whether you're rolling with a favorite like Kyle Larson or chasing a long shot from the back of the pack, NASCAR is always wide open. Fire it up on DraftKings, where NASCAR is full throttle all season long.
Dan Le Batard. John Zaslow. How you love that catchphrase. Bad news for opposing teams in the AAA. Stugotz. He's all smiles. Till the Browns are clutch again, clutch again, clutch again. This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Victoria wasn't a real person either.
What?
By the way.
Wow, that's not a way to talk about
The
a
rumor
woman.
I heard was that Victoria's secret is that there is no Victoria, and the dude's name is Victor, and he's just kind of like some creep who's like, oh, I think they should wear this.
I got to be honest with you.
That was a rumor.
There wasn't like when you get a job at most companies, you don't sit down for like a history lesson of the company and where the names came from. So I don't know all of that. I don't know the name, where it came from, and all that. I do know that there was all those documentaries, and I think the business wasn't as booming.
Hey, Zaz, did Dan ever tell you why we're called Metallark Media?
No.
Maybe Billy's onto something.
I do actually know the answer to that, because when they told us the name, they gave us that like whole origin story.
Oh, really?
Or something. Yeah.
Globetrotters, right?
Do you guys remember or no?
I like some bird of flight, like we're
it was like
flight.
some bird that rises with the dawn of a new sun or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. It's like something about
I do
birds.
believe that was my idea.
If I can go back to Masai Ujiri for a moment.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
When do you think is the appropriate time for the wife? You know, Masai Ujiri, he comes home today. I assume he was already at the office. He comes home today, tells his wife, yeah, we're out. We're free. Like, what's the appropriate timing for the wife to start planning the vacation, you know? Like, because you know she's thinking about it. When do you get to start planning? Because you don't want to be crass where it's like, you're already online and you're checking for the getaway. Like you got to give it a little time to breathe, right?
You're already on Expedia. Now, I have Masai Ujiri coming home and knowing it's only a matter of time before she finds out. So let me just stall this as long as possible. She said, "How was work?" It was fine. And then the next day you get up and you leave and you go to work. But you're not
doing
going
that
to work.
thing of like, I'm still going to work.
Yeah, you get up, you get dressed, you put on your suit and
Goes
tie.
to like Barnes and Noble,
Yeah,
like
just
looks
sit
for
there.
a new job.
Not even
Reading
looks
the classifieds.
Not even looks for a new job. Just sit there and just enjoy the silence. Like, oh.
That was me after the ESPN thing.
Yeah?
Just going to like a coffee shop. I started a day trader account. I was like, I'm going to attack the market. This was during the pandemic. Remember, this was like when everyone was getting into the stock market.
Yeah. Did you tell your wife?
Oh no, I did. I'm half kidding, but there was the couple days before I went back to the show, I did like in the morning go to a coffee shop, and I'm like, got my
like,
TD
look up,
account here. I'm
really
like, getting that resume. You never know.
Did you get that weird attachment that people have on their laptops that opens up like 2 more screens?
Oh, no.
I never understand. Why do people need multiple screens? Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm an idiot and I lived a blessed life.
Yeah.
Just talking about people who chase balls around and stuff. But why do people need 3 screens?
My
for the
wife's
same
obsessed
laptop?
with this. She just got a 3rd one. She's like, it's so exciting. Now my mouse moves across all. It's just like.
But why?
Yeah. Why not just get one really big screen?
I use multiple screens.
Or Alt-Tab. 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 Alt-Tab.
Alt-Tab.
Alt-Tab. Why do you like screens?
I have 2 screens in the Zaslow Mansion Network Studios. I use 2 screens. They have different responsibilities.
Give me the responsibilities for each screen.
Well, for instance, on one of them, I'm recording myself when I'm doing Zaslow Show 2.0, and on the other one, it might have my advertising reads, or I'm on the internet. So they have different functions. They're both being used at the same time.
You stare at yourself when you're recording?
Yeah. Everyone does that, right?
I'm out here. I'm looking up stuff. I'm typing stuff. Especially you do a solo show.
Yeah.
There's no co-host that you got to read visual cues off of.
No.
You just stare at yourself?
Yeah, I think everyone does that though. I don't think that's a strange thing.
I've never done a solo show, so like usually if I'm in a Zoom, I do see myself, but I'm looking at the other person.
I'm looking at the other people.
If I was doing a solo show, I might minimize it because I don't. What do I need to see myself for?
Yeah. I mean, it's on a smaller screen, but I could see. I'm looking right. It's like I'm talking to myself. I'm my audience. I'm talking to myself.
Sometimes do you laugh at a joke and you're like, the audience is loving this.
that's the hard thing that I've experienced. And look, I was doing a solo show my last couple of years on 790 The Ticket as well. But that's the one thing about doing the solo show is I can't laugh at I don't laugh at my jokes. I don't make a joke. There are people who make a joke and they laugh. I don't do that. So
Jimmy Fallon.
There's not any laughing on Zaz. I'll make jokes, but I'm not laughing. I don't laugh at my jokes.
Do you make the joke and then just pause and let that silence sit so that the people in their cars?
I don't think you could do that when you're doing a solo show. I don't know if it has the same effect. But yeah, that is a thing.
I just realized I can't remember the last time I listened to a podcast or a radio show with a solo host.
Other than Zaslow 2.0.
Hey, everyone out there, Zaslow Show 2.0. All right, like, rate, subscribe, tell your mother I say hello.
So you don't listen to Samson either.
Not
Jeez.
Samson, not Bomani, not Coward. Like, if they have an interesting guest.
No, but all those people just, like, especially Coward, he's kind of like cool. He's the dopey guy,
McIntyre?
McIntyre, yeah. Right. And Rachel sometimes. And
yeah. I'm by myself.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I don't know what that sounds like. I'm being honest. It's like I don't even know what that sounds like to listen to for 60 straight minutes of someone just talking.
Right.
How do you break it up so it's not just one long Jeremy answer?
Yeah. I guess I just know how to transition. I know how to go from topic to topic. I use sound. Like I'll play audio bites and I react to them. Throughout the show.
And those are on another screen. That you got queued up?
No, they're on the screen that I'm recording on because this way it's all in the same
multimedia's
file.
On one screen.
That's right. It's
the
all
text
in the same
is on
file.
Another. Got it.
Yes, correct.
Well, back in the day, also, you'd take calls when you had, like, the phone banks you'd have there, and you have to call, what does this caller think about this and that?
I wasn't a big caller guy, though, when I was doing my radio show, I feel like the people are tuning in to listen to me, not callers,
That's a good point.
I have some closure if you want to close some loops on Victoria's Secret and its founding and its name and all of that.
I love closed loops.
So, Victoria's Secret was founded by Roy and Gay Raymond, a couple. and Roy was very,
They called him Gay Raymond?
No, that was the wife.
Oh.
Gaye. Yeah.
Oh, I thought
I mean, that was.
I thought it was two dudes.
That was an unfair
There was
setup.
Roy, and then there was Gay Raymond.
No.
I thought
we just call him Raymond.
That is not.
I just called him
No.
Raymond.
Gay
No,
Raymond.
Raymond's the last name. Yeah.
Like
no.
Billy, that's aggressive.
Well, no. So like Roy would go to the store, but Roy would be very bashful in going to the store because found it was embarrassing to be buying Gay the lingerie. So
Gay Raymond.
Yeah. It was an
Straight
embarrassing
Roy.
situation. It was an embarrassing situation. So Victoria's Secret was actually founded to be a comfortable place where men could buy lingerie for women.
Really?
That's what it was designed. It says right.
It's not a comfortable.
I don't
says
feel
right here.
safe there.
Excuse
At
me.
all.
Excuse me. It says right here. In 1977, according to Wikipedia, in 1977, Raymond borrowed $40,000 from family and $40,000 from a bank to establish Victoria's Secret, a store in which men could feel comfortable buying lingerie. The store was
Who
named.
were these men?
hold
Roy
on.
Raymond.
Oh, Gay Raymond.
Gay.
No,
Roy
that,
and Gay.
that was the wife. The store was named in reference to Queen Victoria and the associated refinement of the Victorian era, while the secret was hidden underneath the clothes.
Bodices and chastity belts and stuff like that. Okay. All right, I'm with it.
I don't feel safe walking in that
No,
store.
I don't at all.
Well, it's changed since all Roy Raymond.
So what was it like
founded
back in the day? They had like beer and sports on TV and stuff like,
No.
hey, come buy your wife some drawers.
I don't think so.
I have a thing with my wife where every Christmas I buy her a $50 gift card, which is barely enough at that place. Jeez, that place.
Socks.
Is
You
way
can't
up
even
from
get
nice
a bra
socks,
for
yeah.
that.
So maybe I do more, but like I always do that, and I just make a beeline for the register. What am I going to peruse in here? You can't. A man can't peruse in Victoria's
Okay,
Secret.
hold on.
You look creepy.
Billy just said a $50 gift card barely gets.
Oh, it gets
a
you
bra.
nothing.
I'll be perfectly honest. I have no idea how much a bra costs.
I just
Well,
know
it
it's
depends.
expensive
It
because I know.
depends what you want to get.
I don't have a
yeah.
clue. It could be $10. It could be $9.99. It could be $199. I have no idea what a bra.
I think a nice set is like close to $50.
a set. What does that mean?
like
There's multiple.
like the lingerie, the bra, and the panties, like a set.
If I'm
Is it
Mrs.
more than
I don't
50?
have a
More
clue.
than 50.
If I'm Mrs. Zaslow right now,
Jeremy's looking at girls and bras on his
I'm
computer.
telling-
HR. Jeremy's
safe for
looking
work,
at
yeah.
bras on his computer.
I'm
HR.
trying to
company
look at
computer.
prices.
Jeremy's,
How much are they?
Jeremy's looking at bras on his
Here's
computer.
the Victoria's Secret catalog.
Jeremy,
Oh,
take that off.
Jeremy.
Whoa, look what you got
We have an
going
HR.
on.
NSFW.
All right, how much?
on over
your
here?
show research. What'd
Jeremy.
you learn?
yeah. Jeremy,
Now I had to exit the tab.
stay strong, brother.
Now go back.
Stay
I really
strong,
don't
brother.
know.
Sometimes you got to do show research, and they want to shame you
It's
for
show
it
research.
because you're trying
Sometimes
to
it's
be
the
more.
NBA
all it is.
Finals. Who knows?
Stay strong.
You see, your friend gave the Heat a D+.
Who gave him a D+?
Your
O'Connor.
friend from
I have a lot of
your,
friends.
your friend from that incident that you were just referencing.
Your boy.
D+.
He seems to not like this organization for some
He
reason.
had the guy that he drafted going like 14 or 15,
Jeremy's
and then,
looking at
and
bras
then the
again.
Heat get him at 20,
and he says
it's
it's
a
a
D
bad-
plus
yeah.
pick. That was just like, I don't get that logic.
He seems to have like a distaste for this organization at every turn.
There's boobs on Jeremy's computer right now.
What?
All right, how much? What is the research? You're doing the research, Jeremy.
Not even
I'm
faces
being
in
told on
this.
ChatGPT that bras can be between $30 and $70.
Just the bra.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what
I
I'm
would have
seeing
no
here, too.
idea.
No bundle. Except there's one for $8.99.
$8.99.
See, I told you,
Where?
$9.99. I was close.
Not at
Walmart?
Vicky's. Where's that from?
It was
Go
Victoria's
back
Secret.
to that. No, no.
It's
Oh,
just
go back
one-
to the tab
it's
now?
one cup, the $8.99 one, just one.
One big cup?
Yeah, just one cup.
That's what I thought he was saying when he said pair. I was like, oh, otherwise.
If only we had someone that used to work there that could tell us what the prices are.
I told you. I told you.
who could that
50's
be?
probably not going to get it done. The thing is, they were always launching like new bras, and then they would like.
They always have new bra technology.
bra.
No, the girls that
technology.
worked there loved it because like sometimes they would either give you like a discount or they like you could claim one, and then it was because the idea was then you'd like tell the clients, oh, this is comfortable, blah blah whatever. For me, it was just like I'd give it to like my sister or like my mom or whatever, and then like the perfumes and stuff like that. Like when there's new ones, they'd give you samples, and I just find people to like give them to.
Yeah.
Because I didn't need them.
Chris, how would your wife feel if you like, hey, honey, I left the show. I don't want to do this media thing anymore. I'm going to work at Victoria's Secret now.
I mean, I don't think she would be jealous if that's what you're like. I mean, if I think she'd be like, how much are you going to be making?
Like let's assume the money is even, break even.
I mean,
like she'd ask you what the discount is, right?
yeah. I think she'd be fine with it.
And what's the level of stability?
Have you seen the media recently?
That's what I'm saying.
You talking about stability? Shit. Ain't nobody here got stability. Stability? You know about stability?
That's why I'm saying she'd probably be happy that he took the job.
Matter of fact, you're on the site right now.
Get
Look
Victoria
up
on the line.
Employment opportunities. Look it up right now.
Job opportunities.
Yes.
I got you. All
Let
right.
me see. Because I'll do it right now. I'll do it live on air.
What will you do?
I'll quit this job, and I'll go work at Victoria's Secret.
Very stable.
Stability.
Why?
Stability.
Oh.
Stability. All tab.
I think we have 3 years.
Boobs
at
again.
least.
Boobs again on his computer.
That's employment opportunities?
Surprisingly enough, yeah, the first picture. That's what's there. Here's about the culture.
All right.
Fostering a happy, healthy, and inclusive culture is our top priority. We believe in our associates giving back to our communities and putting the customer first. It's been that way since our beginning. I will find job opportunities.
I'm going to bring the culture back. I'm going to bring on some flat screen TVs, sports on, kegerators. We're going to make this a safe space for guys to walk in and buy lingerie for their women. That's the original. That's why they founded the place. That's why they founded the place.
I don't know if that's going to work.
Imagine
out.
if Chick-fil-A all of a sudden started selling, like, I don't know, hot dogs. And then everyone's like, oh, I love the Chick-fil-A hot dogs. And like, I would come in, I'm like, I want to take it back to why it was founded. They wanted chicken.
Is that what Dairy Queen does?
Dairy Queen's got that chili dog. I told y'all.
The player?
I got to get back to Dairy Queen. I got to go in there and say, hey, guys, we've lost our way. We're Dairy Queen. We're not hot dog queen. We're not chicken strips queen.
They also got pretzel bites.
Pretzel bite queen?
Would you like a job in corporate, at the distribution centers,
let me go
or
corporate.
in stores?
You could see me working Victoria's Secret corporate. You could see that.
Corporate what?
In a meeting room
Yeah.
and a chart.
Learn
and the
more.
Q3 sales are up 20.
2 points. You're like, this is our newest technology.
He's blushing the whole time during the meeting.
I will say this in terms of stability, like some weeks I got 20 hours. Some weeks I got 4.
No way.
Yeah, it's like it goes up. It's ebbs and flows depending on the year. They have a lot of like seasonal. Look, I'm speaking on the way things were nearly 15 years ago at this point, if not more. Right. So like there's ebbs and flows. There's the busy seasons. There's the semi-annual sales.
What's the busiest season for other than Christmas?
That I think you just nailed it.
I mean, Christmas is the busy season for every retail place.
So that's a busy season, and then
Valentine's
they have like a semi-annual sale. Yeah, but that's like not a season. You know what I mean? That's like the weeks. Yeah, like.
But I bet you get a nice little bump that week, like the week leading up.
Yeah, then like that. Yeah,
The day
but then
before.
like the day,
Scrambling.
like the couple days after, then you're dealing with returns, and you're like, is this a size thing or is this like a?
They wore it. And then
Yeah, like it's a whole.
How
thing.
do they handle that?
Can I tell you the strangest one that I remember was like someone came and was like, I bought this bra 5 years ago and like it's worn out now and it didn't last. And it's like, well, yeah, because you wore it for 5 years. And then like I had a manager who's like, okay, we'll honor that. And I'm like,
what?
I was like, wait, what? Like
Is it like the old Costco policy? Remember Costco? It's like you could come in, it's like this TV stopped working. I bought it 7 years ago. And they're like, all right, well, we don't carry that one anymore. So get the equivalent, which is this brand new flat screen.
You know what I learned in retail? A lot of it is all about the attitude in which you bring to the table on like some of these exchanges and returns.
Coach us.
Like if you're coming in hot and like it's a judgment call, which a lot of them it's like a judgment call, you're like, all right, like you're here screaming at me, like I'm not gonna be putting up with this. Like,
Be decent,
you can go,
and you got a good shot.
If you're nice,
Really?
more often than not, like if you're nice, they'll be more willing to help you on certain things.
Is that not a life? I mean, that
If
works-
you're,
that's
like,
in
really-
most
I
cases.
do that all the
If
time.
you're like really, really difficult though, and it's like you have the right person, they also just want to get you. They're like, whatever you want, man, just get out of there. So like,
So
it's
you're
a
saying you have
balance.
to be on one extreme or the other.
Exactly, either really nice or like a really terrible person.
Like,
I go with the really nice.
Threaten to call corporate.
Yeah.
So I don't know about retail, but I know like for flights and hotels, right? When they mess up, I tell my friends all the time, you have to go ballistic. Because if you're like, oh man, like I missed my kid's wedding as a result, and they're like, oh, okay, we'll give you 7,000 miles. I'm like, 7,000 miles?
That's nothing.
That's nothing, right? As opposed to, I once called American Airlines and told them, if I have to pay for this hotel because they messed up.
I will tweet about this.
No,
and I'm famous.
I said, well, I brought that up secondarily. I said,
Really?
I said, if I have to pay for this hotel tonight so I can fly on them, I'll do it, and I'll fly out tomorrow morning. But from here on out, every single trip I take, no matter how many connections, will be on Delta Airlines, and I will tweet about it every single time, and I've got followers. I'm on TV.
I'm on Sports Nation.
I hit them. I layered all that stuff. So you either connect me with someone who can get me a voucher, or just know it's your ass. And I know they review the every
your call is being recorded for quality assurance.
I'm assuring you this quality. And hold on for a second. Okay, we got you. They not only got me the voucher for the night that they said they couldn't do. Can't do it. Sorry, that's against our policy. Can't do it. Got me a voucher for the night. And a voucher for the bar. Got dinner paid for and a beverage.
I don't like that. You would have gotten, my next offer would have been 5,000 miles. So that's how you came at me. I would have said, nope, not today.
Chris, with those 2 days of day trading, finance, is that the right place to go for you here on the job application? I'm just trying to figure out which category.
Head of mannequin assessment.
That's what?
Jesus.
I had a time where I went to I got tickets.
Visual merchandising.
I got tickets to WrestleMania when it was down here like 10 years, 20 years ago, whatever it was, right?
Yeah, it was like 15 years
And like I was just like, because it was a spectacle, I liked wrestling growing up. I was like, it'd be really cool to just go to a WrestleMania, right? So I was given tickets. When we get there, they're in the upper deck.
Yeah.
And it's blocked view because they had these big palm trees like in the corner, whatever, because they have a tent. And we weren't expecting it, so people are like really pissed off upstairs.
You gotta go complain there.
They're all upset. They're all like, the customer service line was like crazy. Like, I can't see. They're going crazy looking for anything to do.
They'll move you to the floor.
So my wife goes over and just like goes up to someone off to the side. Is like, hey, we had this issue. We can't really see whatever. And the woman just hands her 2 tickets and is like, go.
Yeah.
Like, just leave. Don't say anything. Just walk away and go.
There you go.
Dude, we were like 100 level, like 20th row, like right above where the cameras are. Crazy upgrade.
Did your wife love it?
Loved it.
Wife love money.
Jeremy, you know something about me, right? You know when I'm grilling outside and it's summertime, you know how I supplement my summertime?
Of course I do.
I make it Miller time.
Of course.
That beautiful white can. Oh, when it's so hot outside, I just put it right to my forehead, right there. And I just roll it sometimes, right on the forehead, cool my body down, and then I crack it open, instant relief, and then that first sip, brother, does that first sip?
That is a top 5 sequence of events that you can possibly go through.
I'm just serenity now when I just imagine that first sip of Miller Lite.
Just thinking about it's making me happy.
Dude, the sun is out. It's nice. You have your friends showing up. You got your family there. You just had your first sip of Miller Lite. And you know what? You're happy. You're blissful. You're fulfilled. I've been stocking my cooler with Miller Lite for years, and for good reason. It's brewed for taste. Only 96 calories and 3.2 grams of carbs. This year, Miller Lite turns 50. That's 5 decades of cookouts, laughs, and ice-cold moments that never miss. It's the original light beer, and it's still my go-to. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.